Today I'm gonna tell you guys how these 3 prisoners got from this.
I wanna taste defeat.
Heading east to taste defeat.
In my desire to taste defeat, I am heading for the capital.
To this.
Stop! You win! You win!
Speck. Speck is a 97-year-old great-grandpa who was sentenced to death and was put in a prison. But for Speck, the prison was no more than a playground because it wasn't a Japanese prison. So when he was bored, he just took a denture out of a counselor's mouth and somehow turned into a key. Then he escaped from the prison, which was in a submarine, to go to Tokyo. Also, before leaving, he showed his manners and thanked the guards for the hospitality.
Hey guards! Thanks to y'all for your hospitality.
After reaching Tokyo, he somehow finds Baki Hanma and gently introduces himself. After introducing himself, Speck pats Baki with his legs. But before Baki's skull would crush, Japanese police comes in and handcuffs Speck. And as we all know that Japanese police is the best, so they safely carried him to the prison. Now Speck was using this Japanese police station as his personal hangout, but then we come to know that Baki characters need food as well. So to eat food, Speck just casually breaks the cell and goes to a store to buy 4,000 years old Chinese buns, where he paid the clerk with the punch payment option as he was low on cash. Then he comes back to his personal hangout and starts urinating in the Japanese toilet. But Japanese toilets couldn't hold Speck's urine. I wish we had 4,000 years old Chinese toilet over here. Anyways, seeing Speck urinating, Officer Sonada gets surprised. Now it is unknown till this date that he was surprised by the amount of liquid or the size of Speck's pee-pee. Sonada gets jealous of Speck's pee-pee and tries to kick him, but Speck stops it and shows his manners.
When someone offers you something, you accept gratefully. Now eat up before it gets cold.
These 4,000 years old Chinese buns are pretty strong though. Then he again leaves his cell, goes to Statue of Liberty where he punches the statue so hard that its base was completely destroyed from inside. After punching Statue of Liberty, he goes to Baki. Then this 97-year-old great-grandpa attacks this 17-year-old who was kissing his 17-year-old GF but gets bitch slapped by his 19-year-old gangster friend. Then Speck starts fighting Hanayama and keeps punching him. After punching Hanayama like 10,000 times, Hanayama finally punches back. And man, his one punch was enough to send a great-grandpa to heaven. But this great-grandpa weighed over 400 pounds, so instead of going to heaven, he crashed back to ground. Later, great-grandpa also tries a lot of cheats, but Hanayama just overrules them, and at last Hanayama just bitch punched the youngness out of Speck. Later he was transferred to hospital where he was doing typical Speck things. But great-grandpa Speck wanted to recover so that he could taste defeat, because apparently this wasn't a true defeat. Now he couldn't wake up and start training, so he used his imagination and started training in his mind. He started swimming inside his mind, because of which his physical body was getting trained, and within a week he became more muscular than before. And don't ask me how he got those muscles back without eating anything, because it is beyond science. Maybe he used his pee-pee as his protein source. As we know, he had a big pee-pee, so maybe he sacrificed it for the muscles, thus making him more powerful. Sikorsky. There isn't a lot to say about Sikorsky. You can call him a Spider-Man apart from the fact that he doesn't shoot webs or doesn't have that much strength or durability either. Sikorsky escaped his prison by climbing a wall where there were no guards. That's a good prison, not gonna lie. After escaping the prison, he kills this fighter and writes this on the wall. I mean, what even is this? Either it's written from spit or from Sikorsky's pee-pee sauce. Then he walks all the way to Tokyo. After reaching Tokyo, he kidnaps Baki's 17-year-old girlfriend because Yujiro asked him to do so. But the only reason he kidnapped Kozue was to meet Yujiro and fight him. So when he takes Kozue to Yujiro, he starts fighting him, but suddenly Oliva came out of nowhere and stopped Sikorsky from committing suicide. At the same time, Baki comes in as well and kicks Sikorsky out of the building. But our cheap Spider-Man climbs up. But then Japanese police comes in, so Sikorsky willingly jumps out of the window. Then in the evening, Baki goes to Sikorsky to take his revenge. He puts a bucket on Sikorsky's head and bitch slaps him, due to which Sikorsky felt a lot of pain. So Baki did what anyone would do to relieve Sikorsky's pain. he just kicks him in the nuts. Then Oliva also joins Baki, beats naked Sikorsky and hands him over to Commissioner Sonada. Sikorsky again leaves the prison only to discover Jack Hanma. Jack takes him to toilet and beats his ass over there, but he escapes and moves to a phone booth. Then Jack Hanma just beats the phone booth out of him. Later he is moved to arena only to discover that Jack Hanma is too strong for him and Gaia will fight him. Gaia started camouflaging in sand so that Sikorsky couldn't see him. Sikorsky gets frustrated and challenges him to fight like a man.
Why are you hiding? Come out and face me like a man, you coward!
So Gaia starts fighting like a man. At last Sikorsky finally accepts his defeat and is again moved to a prison. After some time to take revenge and increase his power, he starts slipping on walls. Yeah, that's all he does along with compressing coins. I mean, I don't know why Sikorsky is even a character. Yanagi. When Yanagi was young, he learned poison hand training, and after years of practice, he finally perfected the technique. So he willingly moved to a prison where he started practicing his technique, and the only thing he used to do was bitch slap his enemies, and somehow his enemies used to just faint or die after getting bitch slapped. Yanagi bitch slapped so many people that the government had to sentence him to death, so he was moved to a glass chamber where he just had his homemade underwear. I mean, the guard should respect his privacy. But after some time, he writes on a paper with a pen that he was going to Tokyo, unlike other prisoners who used to write it with blood or their pee-pee sauce. After writing, Yanagi stands up, touches the glass and cracks it. Then he follows the trend of killing the guards and then he escapes to Tokyo. After reaching Tokyo, he fights Baki by rotating a sickle with a rope, but Baki shows his skills and takes his shirt off, because of which Yanagi's sickle got stuck in Baki's shirt. Later Shibukawa also joins the fight and let's just say they both gangbanged him, but at last Yanagi bitch slaps Baki and escapes. Later he again comes to fight Baki, but this time Baki had done his PP training, because of which he became ridiculously strong. So after getting challenged by Yanagi, Baki accepts it and they start fighting at a nearby park. And let's just say Baki just punched his teeth out. When someone makes these faces, you know it's a serious hit. Within moments, he realized that he has to use his best technique to defeat Baki. So he used Whip Strike, which is believed to be so painful that your soul will just leave your body instead of dealing with the pain.
That's how great the pain is said to be. So great that the body would rather just give up and die.
And then Yanagi uses Whip Strike, where he imagines his body to be a liquid and it actually behaves like liquid. Pretty realistic. He then hits Baki, and after getting hit by Yanagi, this is what Baki said.
That's the Whip Strike.
So you can do the whip strike? Then why didn't you use it just now?
He said only little girls slap. And that it's something a grown man should never be caught doing.
Baki then imagines his body to be liquid as well and hits Yanagi, and man, Yanagi was in real pain. Later Sikorsky also joins the fight, and let's just say both Yanagi and Sikorsky got a lot of bitch slaps. After beating them, Baki just leaves them and Yanagi just starts crying like a baby. Later he gets his hand cut by Motobe, but he was still like, I don't accept defeat. So Yujiro himself comes out of nowhere, bitch slaps Yanagi really hard and just leaves. But somehow Yanagi still survived and was later transferred to prison. After going back to prison, he continuously kept looking at one spot and didn't move at all. Maybe he was imagining himself to be Yujiro to increase his powers. But Yujiro's powers can't be achieved even in the imaginations. So he just kills all the guards and leaves the prison. Let's hope that the prisoners become a lot more stronger and entertain us even more in the future. I also have a Discord server, guys, where we all can come up with even greater ideas, grow the Baki and overall anime community. Also through my Discord server, you guys can chat with me and suggest me new ideas, or you can just talk about anime with other like-minded anime fans, and we can do a lot of other things on Discord server which we cannot do on YouTube. So if you are interested, you can join the Discord community by clicking the link in the description below. That's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, then you can like the video and subscribe the channel. Also don't forget to turn on the notifications bell and join the Discord server. The link is in the description below.